Welcome back to Keep Expecting Miracles. We're here with a mini pod episode. We're excited
Yay.
to we're excited to talk about she was a newly rediscovered favorite Disney princess, Ariel, today, the
Mhm.
Little Mermaid.
Yes, I love The Little Mermaid. Okay, I love The Little Mermaid now. As a child, I did not.
Right.
Which I told you before, but I'll tell the pod that I was not a fan of The Little Mermaid much as a kid because I was like, why would you give your voice up to get feet just so you can go to a man? Like, what are you doing?
You said that
I,
as a child?
yeah. I couldn't understand that. I'm like, that's because she had such a beautiful voice. I'm like, why would you give up your ability to sing? Why? I
Yeah.
couldn't understand that at all.
Yeah,
So I just thought it was
absolutely.
crazy. And I was like, why are they making a movie about this? And why they have this lady over here portraying a plus size woman?
Ursula.
I was mad at the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I
Why they
mean,
have her? And she was purple, so I'm like, I knew that stood for dark skin. So I was like, why they have this purple plus size
oh.
woman over here having to steal, manipulating what's Ariel and making her look like the bad guy. And I don't think I was a normal child watching that movie.
No, you weren't. Because that
Hmm.
is not. I just didn't like Ariel.
Mm.
I don't know why. It didn't. So yeah, you definitely had a deeper meaning to that, and it's the whole reason why we're even talking about Little Mermaid with our voice series is because she does give up her voice. She does give up her power, and it's interesting to think about that movie and to think about even the lyrics to this main song and the sacrifice that she says, like, what would I give, what would I pay to spend a day warm on the sand, like what would I give just to live out of these waters, like it's so because Ursula is able to find that out, she's like, okay, this is what I'm about to do.
Hmm.
Um, but just
Hmm.
the fact that Disney put that in a movie and they know the power of sirens, of mermaids and their voices and how they draw men to the sea, and
Hmm.
that whole thing is crazy to me. Like, this isn't a kids movie.
Right, right. Um, as I think about it, just as a side note, as you're talking about drawing men with the voice, even in Snow White, which was actually recently released, because at the what was the tone that Ariel was making? It was the I'm not gonna sing it on on here, but I remember I'm hearing her right. It was just a very gentle
Yeah.
melody that was attracting him. Uh huh. Yep.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
in Snow White, she was also doing a very nice flowy melody.
Hmm.
And the prince was able to hear her um,
Mhm.
sing that. And
Oh, wow.
that's when the birds, she'd be singing and the birds and all the animals were happy, whatever that she was singing. So
Oh.
Disney knows the power of voice. They have
Mhm.
been, yeah, it's definitely in those older movies is definitely a part of it. And I just like, can a beautiful voice attract a man? Does that
Yeah.
happen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I
Make
mean,
them
hello.
swoon. I know, like for us, we'll be like, "Oh my gosh, do you hear how he sounds when he sang to me?" Like for
It
us, I
it
know it would work.
does
I've
it
never seen it the opposite
it
way.
does do something else, even sexually, like, that's why there's such a thing as phone sex, and
Mm,
people calling
mhm,
into phone lines and just talking to
mhm.
people they can't even see,
Right. You're right. You're right.
and why pornos are full of fake sounds, because
You're right.
it's the men that need those sounds.
Yes, you're right. Wow.
Yeah, we don't need that.
Mhm,
It's them.
mhm,
It's
mhm.
them. That is right. I think
Definitely.
this is we're talking about our mini pod that we want to bring up just pop culture in this because it is weaved into our lives, and it's in different spaces and places, and singing songs, lyrics to songs, certain tones. Um you had brought it up today, was in a Cheetah Girls movie. You had said Raven, her character, was mad at the record company because they were using one of their songs to, manipulate the mind of the people that were listening to the songs. And that
Mm-hmm.
happens, that still happens.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It
All the
still
time.
happens. Yeah. And so it's being mindful of what you're listening to, being mindful of what you're exposing yourself to, and your kids too is very you just have to be intentional sometimes. There's nothing wrong with having fun and having, music playing and jamming, but there still has to be a foundation,
Yeah.
because young impressionable minds cannot differentiate sometimes
Right.
it does form, into the person's psyche. There's a reason why people want to grow up rapping and drug dealing and stealing and killing, because that's what they
Mm-hmm.
hear. It's the culture. We know that music does influence our culture, and
Yep.
obviously we know in the Bible, um, they do say that Satan was the angel of music in heaven, and he was just, fallen on earth, and so he is uses music to manipulate, and that's what the church says, that's what the Bible says.
Yeah.
um so sound, music, voice is extremely powerful, if that
It
it's been
is.
interpreted in that way according
It
to the Bible.
is. Yeah. And so that's when Ariel gave up her voice, it was she gave up her power.
Mhm.
Absolutely gave up
Mhm.
her power. She could not, she wasn't even able to speak.
I
All she could do was stand
know.
there.
Right. And I think maybe do you think that she thought that maybe she was giving up her ability to sing and not actually ability to speak? Cuz
That's
I'm
a
like,
good point.
who in their right mind would take away their ability to speak?
Right. Exactly. That's a good point. That's a wonderful point because I mean, if anything, I can actually appreciate the movie a little bit more now, because it really showed that your attraction is not just physical. It's
Mhm.
also in the way that you say things, the way it's in the voice. It's in
Mhm.
it's what's within. It's not
Mhm.
just what's without.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so that's I don't remember in the cartoon. I need to go back and watch the cartoon. But I know that in the hold up, maybe this was in the cartoon. But Ursula then made herself look like a beautiful woman, right? She changed herself from an octopus to a woman and was singing the voice, and her, which I don't remember the prince's name, but he then
Eric.
was more attracted to him, Eric. Yeah. So Eric was attracted to her, to Ursula as the princess, than
Mhm.
to Ariel.
Well, he thought that cuz he was just trying to search for the person that saved his life. He
Right.
knew that that specific voice, that melody, ah, was the person
Mhm.
that saved his life when he almost drowned. And so when Ursula came as that woman in disguise with that voice singing that song, he's like, "Oh, this is a person that saved me."
Right. Right. Okay.
Like,
Right.
he felt it. He felt something special with Ariel, but because
Hmm.
she didn't speak,
Hmm.
he's like, is this the person?"
Hmm.
And that could be something too, like when you meet somebody and you're drawn to the person, like energetically drawn, like if you make eyes and then when they speak, it's like, oh,
Never mind.
oh,
Is that what you
oh,
mean?
never
Or
mind, or oh, I like this person even more. I like how they
right.
sound. Like, oh, okay, this
Yes.
might be the person I can like, just from the sound of their voice.
Hmm. 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 I could relate to that actually. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because even, knowing that the voice is also that vibration, and it, someone's voice, it actually, we feel our voices, we feel another person's voices with our whole body. It's not just with our ears. And I can definitely relate to that. Like I would know, like, I don't want to deal with you because it's not going nowhere. Or
Right.
like, wow, your voice is like literally soothing me and you
Mhm.
actually match my energy, and
Mhm.
that, would be more welcoming. I could see that.
Mhm. One this is so funny. I thought back to when we weren't even dating at this time. Me and Donnell, we were talking, and one particular night we were on the phone. We would be on the phone all night long.
Mm-hmm.
One particular night we were on the phone till like 1 a.m. with him just sitting on the phone listening to me singing songs.
Aw,
Disney
that's
songs.
cute.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
do you like this song? And what about this song? And what about this one? He just singing. And I'm like, what is going through his mind? Like, now that I think back, I didn't think anything of it then. But I think
Mm-hmm.
back, like, dang, he must have really liked me to be staying on the phone.
Right.
Because if I ask him to sit on the phone with me now singing, he would be like, girl, get off this phone. I'm not staying on the
That's
phone with
funny.
you. But he literally would sit on the phone listening to me singing.
That is hilarious. I can't even imagine.
Like, oh yeah,
That's
we were supposed
funny.
to be together. We definitely would. If that didn't scare him off, like, this
Right.
girl is crazy.
That is too funny. Mm-mm.
And it's not like
Mm-mm.
I'm a, opera singer over here. Like, so it's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
And
That's hilarious.
it's funny because, and I'm like, maybe he tricked me. It's funny because I like musicals. I was singing
Oh,
Grease songs. He doesn't like musicals. He doesn't like any movie with any type of singing in it.
wow. And he stayed on the phone to listen to you sing. Hmm.
Exactly. That's that siren voice.
Mm-hmm. Calling him in. Yeah, I know you hear me, right? Mm-hmm. Two
Exactly.
carat diamond, maybe three.
Right. Right. Exactly.
That's funny.
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
Mm-mm.
But and
That's
then so
hilarious.
now that I have my kids, knowing what I know about music, I try to play music in the car with different languages.
Oh, that's good. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it's
Hmm.
just a way to expose them to different languages, even if, I'm not the one speaking the language. They're still, listening to it, and it's
Hmm.
getting into their psyche and their mind. And so if they try to learn a language, a little bit later on, I do want to get a tutor for Elena because I want her to learn a couple languages before she gets a little bit older.
Hmm.
But I want her to have that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want her to have that already in, and even him, even baby Donnie too.
Yeah. What is the music is universal?
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's good. I like that. I've listened
Yeah.
to I listen to all types of music, and I've listened to music from different languages as well, and it can be so fun. So the kids, they have certain Brazilian songs that they love. Because for a
Mm.
while we were like, I was like, okay, let's find like some good songs from like Brazil, like anywhere. So like I would just type in like song from other countries. Oh, David Guetta, the DJ
Oh
David
yeah.
Guetta. So he has worked with so many different artists, right?
Yeah.
And so they're
Yeah.
all like dance songs. And so we'll be in the car, like windows down, blasting words we don't know what they saying, but dancing and singing. And there was one time actually that we went to the restaurant Opa. It's a Greek restaurant, and they were playing one of the songs. We were like, "Oh snap!" The kids were able to dance to it and stuff because they knew it. And
Yeah.
I'm like, you see, like exposing them to different kinds of languages,
Hmm.
it like gives them an upper hand. Like they can be relate to others in different
In a
rooms. Like
different way.
it's more, yeah.
Yeah.
There's like it's gonna provide more of a benefit than what we can even think of right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely believe that, and it's, the fact that Disney, even features music in their movies, and the fact that the main characters are singers,
Yeah.
is a big thing. Even with the latest movies like Encanto, everybody in the movie sings. Like I
Mhm.
love
Mhm.
that. Like everybody has a
Mhm.
song that's related to their personality, and
Yeah.
it's we watched for the first time cuz Mufasa is on Disney Plus now, so we watched that yesterday,
Oh, okay.
and it was good. It was really good.
Good.
I loved how they featured the male voice, and how obviously it's about a man, about a
Mhm.
male character, and um just showing the strength in that and the power in that. And you do have to speak things out. You do have to share things. And even as a yeah, even more so, I should say, as a man, because our in terms of emotions and expression, like, our society doesn't allow for that.
Girl. Yes.
It doesn't allow
I
for that.
agree. I
Yeah.
100% agree.
Yeah.
100%. I want to I of course I got to use some chat GPT.
Hmm.
So I typed into chat GPT about, the voice and the messages behind it with the Little Mermaid.
Hmm.
And this goes back to our point that we were recently making. So it says the voice is what makes you magnetic. Prince Eric is not just drawn to Ariel's beauty. He's searching for the voice that saved him, the voice that sang to his soul. Your voice, your true expression, is what calls in aligned blessings, partners, and opportunities. When we speak from authenticity, we call in what is truly meant for us. Your voice is a spiritual magnet.
Wow.
If that is not the
Wow.
truth,
It
it
is.
is. It
Specifically
is.
with authenticity
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
truth.
Mhm. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Wow.
I feel like that can be used, it being a spiritual saying it's a spiritual magnet. You know how there are some people that will go from like terrible romantic relationship to a terrible romantic relationship and be like, I just keep attracting the same person. Now it
Mhm.
makes me think like, well, what are you saying to yourself? Obviously, it's about the internal belief, but to get to that, uncovering that belief, what are you saying to yourself? What are these people saying to you? Are they using the same words? Listen to the tone of their voices when they're coming to speak to you to say, hey, girl, or hey, man, I want you. Like,
Mhm.
how do they sound? Do they all sound
Mhm.
the same? Because if they sound the same and you still accepting that same person, that same sound, you're going to keep getting that same person over and over again.
Well, and it not even that. You don't even have to be that deep. Think about when you first start talking to somebody. If you
Mm-hmm.
meet somebody on an app, or you meet them in the wherever you meet them, and y'all start texting, and all they want to talk about is sex.
That part.
Oh, well, he only wants sex from me. I wonder why. Have you had any other type of conversation with the person?
Right. Mm-hmm.
If all he's sending you, he don't even know you. Y'all don't even know each other, and all he's saying is, "Oh, I want to do this. I want to do that. Let's do this. Let's." That is a clear thing right there. You don't even have to wonder. You know, it ain't no. You don't have to guess what the red flags are. That's it.
Yes. There's
Like,
that.
hello.
There's that. And I think that's also the difference between men and women is men, especially when it comes to that, a lot of them are so good at using the voice in that way. Like men have that special they have that special talent to be forthright.
Well, it's. I feel like it is the only way they develop their emotional connection is through sex. If
Well,
they were
that part.
suppressed emotionally, oh, they know how
Mhm.
to connect sexually. And
Mhm.
that is how
Mhm.
they're expressing themselves. That's
Yep.
what they develop. They haven't been able to express it. They didn't learn in other ways to
Yep.
be emotional, or to be deep, or to have conversations about other things. It's like, oh, I know how to do this.
Right.
So that's why. That's
Yeah.
why.
Yep. Mm.
Yeah, it's even for people that I think about, people that are just like some men who are just um they talk too much. I mean, it could be for women too, but men that are just like the life of the party, or just very out there in the open, and just what are you overcompensating for?
Mhm. Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that can be for women too, but specifically when a man is like that, there's underlying this it's underlying things
Yeah,
going on
yeah,
there.
it's a signal.
Yeah, it is.
Mhm. It,
It
and that
is.
and that's another way that the voice is sending a message. It's sending a message that there's something lacking somewhere. We're missing out on something. I want to. This point just
Absolutely.
came to me, going back to the Little Mermaid and her father, because I'm like, well, how could thinking, how could Ariel fall for Ursula? Right, Ursula's her aunt, right?
Mhm.
And she had been telling her dad, I want to go where the people are. I want to see them. Sebastian knew she was falling in love with this man that she had, you know, saved, and just like she loved him even before she saved him, right? Like she
Mhm.
was admiring him even before that. That's how that even happened. And I'm just like, okay, she was using her voice. She said, "This is what I need, father." But of course, he's protecting his daughter,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So I can't even say, going back to me, like, why would she do that? I can't even say that she did the wrong thing with trusting that her aunt may have her best interest in mind. Because now it ties
Mm.
in
Yeah.
family betrayal, family
Yes.
issues,
Yes.
you know,
Yes. Yes. That is correct. That is
which
correct.
is crazy.
Mhm.
I'm like, oh, okay,
Mhm.
this movie goes a little bit deeper.
It does.
It goes a
It
little bit deeper.
does. It
Yeah.
does. Especially if she felt like she didn't get something that she was owed,
Mhm. Mhm.
Ursula,
Mhm.
or if she felt like she was powerless.
Right. Yep.
It's like, you're repeating the cycle. Now you're doing this to your niece because you felt that way.
And it's easy to look at her as evil. It's easy to look
Mhm.
at her as, you're doing this because you're evil and you're just a
Mhm.
monster and you don't deserve to
Mhm.
be on this planet.
Mhm. Mhm.
But when you
Mhm.
turn it
Mhm.
in that way,
Yeah.
she is the sister of what her dad was, Zeus, right?
Triton, King
Triton.
Triton.
Yeah,
Mhm.
sorry. Yeah, so when you're doing it that way, like her coming from, like, that's her brother, and then looking at Ursula, like you can kind of like determine where the storyline would go if they were to talk about, like, before the Little
Yeah.
Mermaid, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but thinking about the stuff that she had gone through, where she's just like, okay, well, now I'm taking what's mine,
Yeah.
like, and I'm going to use this to get where I need to be, where I want to be.
Yes.
Then you could have some compassion for her.
Yeah.
Could.
Yeah. Could a little bit. I don't know about that.
But she's a good representation. She's a great representation of how you can go about getting what you really want, but doing it in a way that doesn't serve you. You know, it's so, like, Ursula represented the voice suppression, right? So Ursula is used to suppress the voice. And we talked about this in the previous episode, where when you suppress the voice, the energy still has to go somewhere, it has to do something,
Right.
right? Ursula was still going to use Ariel's voice in some way.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm like, I can see that's a good mirror right there to
Right.
show her as that evil force. Like when you suppress your voice, like I said in the previous episode, when you suppress your voice, and we have learned when we suppress our voices, it the good things don't come out of that. Nothing good comes out of it,
Mm-mm.
actually. Nothing at all. And so Disney basically used, okay, well, here's Ursula. She is going to be the evil or the negative effect of what
Yes.
happens when you
When you
don't,
suppress.
yeah, when you don't allow
Yeah.
your voice to be used.
Yeah. You're hurting other people now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That is true.
Yeah. It was
That
the
is
whole
true.
thing.
And I mean, yeah, and it consumed her. It made up her whole being. You know,
Yes.
that would be a good, how they've started to do origin stories now. How they did, we were just talking about Mufasa. They should do a Ursula origin story. I want to know more
Girl.
about Ursula
Now we
now.
get in this portal of manifestation. You know that's coming. I'm pretty
And
sure that's gonna have to
maybe
be
Keep Expecting Miracles is going to have some type of, connection to it in terms of abundance and money and finances and sponsorships or something.
for sure.
Interviewing somebody that's on that. I don't know. We're doing
Hello.
something with it
Mhm. Mhm.
since we're
Mhm.
manifesting that. That's a mini
I second that.
manifestation segment.
Right. On our mini
Ursula origin,
episode.
right? Ursula origin story over here.
Yes, that would be so good. I know what
Mm.
Descendants has a little bit of that, which I haven't really watched, but
Me
we need
either.
something a little more grand than that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we
Yeah.
should. We
Yeah.
definitely should. I think that
Definitely.
yeah, it's when even her dad too, and just he was the king, and you would think that he's a well-meaning father, but why does he feel that people are so evil? I mean, he says it
Mm.
like they only turn you into a spectacle and but you know
Mhm.
how they made it a point at the beginning and the end to show like the power of when we all connect and when we join together, like there is happiness that can happen, and how Ariel was the bridge
Right.
between the human and the mermaid worlds to bring
Mm.
the two species together.
She sure was.
Um, and that was her, losing her voice was her transformative moments that had to
Yeah.
happen in order for her to become better.
Mhm.
Jessica, which you just shared on the last episode,
Mhm.
so it was the betrayal from her aunt. So yeah, that was yeah. I think that I want to see more of that, like what specifically made him so, because he was very controlling.
Very.
He wasn't to me a tender, loving father.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
So
Mm-mm.
what made him? Why was he using Sebastian to keep an eye on her?
Right. Right. Because he definitely wasn't trying to hear her out
No,
at all.
which pushed
Yeah.
her away, which in turn made he destroyed her whole room of things that she loved
Yes.
from the
Yes.
surface.
Mm-hmm. And that wasn't okay. That's I mean, I know in a lot of Disney movies the mothers are missing, and especially in that one. And it's a mother's tender love was definitely tender care was missing from that moment. But then
Yeah.
we wouldn't have the movie.
Well, maybe that's a part of the reason why he doesn't like humans.
Oh, you're right. That could be.
Maybe the
Yeah.
humans have something to do with her not having the mom.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. That's true. Hmm.
Yeah. We're just thinking
That's
of a
true.
origin story possibility.
Right. We are not screenwriters, however.
Something is gonna come out of it. Something is gonna come
Hmm.
out of it. But yeah.
Hmm. Well, her voice reclamation, reclaiming her voice at the end was powerful,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
And
it
then the
was.
fact, of course, it's a Disney movie, so it ended all honkadory. Like
Hmm.
everything went as it should.
Hmm.
Um, but I'm like just thinking of all that she had to go through, to she needed help. She needed um she needed all of her animal friends to help. She
Hmm.
had to like go through so much just to get her voice back. Like I should not have done this and now I need it back.
Hmm.
um
Hmm.
which, if you look at our own lives, or if our listener look at their own lives, um if you're someone who has voice suppression or you feel like you've lost your voice, like you do need help, right? You can get help.
Hmm.
Even in Disney movies, nobody did anything by themselves.
Right. That's true.
And that's, you talked about therapy, being something that really helped you. It helped me as well. Um,
Hmm. Hmm.
and therapy in the form of traditional ways, as well as the scream therapy that we went through
Hmm.
and did on in Costa Rica at our
Hmm.
retreat.
Hmm.
Um, either along the way, like we do have to get help in order to find ourselves again.
Yeah.
It's not, we cannot be a one person show.
No. No. Yeah, and it allows you to, you have to know that when you do receive help from somebody, you are helping the other person as well.
Mm. I love when you say that
Mhm.
because I'd be forgetting that.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Mhm. It's especially I learned this as a therapist, especially as a therapist, like the clients that you have, you come in contact with a lot of the same people that have your same issues.
Mm.
It might look different, but it's the same at the core, and it helps you heal also. And I
Hmm.
will say a lot of probably a lot of other type of healing professions, it's the same exact thing. The
Yeah.
same nursing. That's why people that lose children, that's why they become nurses.
Yeah.
It's they can help even people. Hello, people that are addicted to substances. The best addiction counselors are the people that are in recovery.
Hmm.
They're still in recovery. They're healing. So it's, you
Hmm.
have to know that it's a symbiotic relationship, and that you speaking, you sharing, you unlocking, you releasing is allowing. I heard the other day, it's like just being a witness to somebody else's healing and sharing is healing for both of you guys.
Hmm.
So you're absolutely right. Yeah. But yeah.
That was a wonderful conclusion.
Yes. Yes, we're committed to doing episodes in the way that works best for us, and so we're gonna do mini pods here and there, and this is one of them. We love doing our Disney movie or our pop culture features, so this was good. We're like, we haven't talked about Ariel, Little Mermaid yet, so we're happy that we're able to do this. So
Yes.
thank
And
you guys for doing it.
if you heard some things, not to cut you off, if you heard
Oh
some
yeah.
things that we didn't bring up in the movie that stuck out to you, please comment on our YouTube video or wherever you are listening to, give us a 5-star review
Yes.
and list and write down, comment, what did we miss?
Right,
Because we want to
right.
hear it.
Share it with us. Yeah,
Hmm.
start the conversation. Chime
Yes.
in. Thank you, guys. We're so happy to have to be building our foundation of listeners, and tell us what you want to hear too. Give us some
That part.
pop culture or movie things to break down and dissect.
Hmm.
We would love to. We are open to suggestions, and we would love that. So thank you guys again for tuning in. We will catch up with you next time.
Yes.
Bye
Bye.
bye.